Hello, welcome to America First Texas. I am your host, Tyler Cambry. Today is June 8th, 2026. I almost said 2028. God, what's wrong with me today? Please like, subscribe, share this out to all your friends. Slide up in our DMs. We want to hear from you. So yeah, go to americafirsttexas.com. Check out our website. Click that right there. Bam. And send us a business inquiry. Contact at americafirsttexas.com. Man, I'm fired up today. These are our social media handles. Go follow us across all our platforms. We need all your support. And give us a follow over there at Twitch. We got something cool coming on up in the future. And if you like this show, please watch this show on Rumble. Give us some thumbs up and some subscribers. We need those. We need all of them. That's currency. It's currency for us. We need that. What's up, everybody? I know I'm a little goofy today, but you know, it's Monday. I've had 2 coffees and feeling good. We have got one big show for you today. It's going to be a very content-heavy show. Way more content than talking than usual. Usually, I'm rambling and rumbling and doing all those things and telling you about life and about the economy and the way that people are thinking, the way we're thinking, the way I'm thinking. But today, I'm gonna get a little more content heavy. And sorry I didn't see you guys last week. I have been running around here like a freaking freight train. I've got so much going on with America First Texas right now. It is awesome. And as far as those checkpoints last time, I met one of the 2 checkpoints. Well, there was actually 3 checkpoints. I met one of them. I'm working on the second one right now, which I hope will be done by Friday. And then the 3rd checkpoint will be a tentative schedule by then. So we will see, but we're making progress. 1 of 3 checkpoints out of the way. And the 2nd checkpoint is the hardest checkpoint. But like I said, by Friday, should be out of the way. Moving forward, and we're going to be looking pretty, man. It's going to tie everything together, and I'm excited. It's going to ease my sales processes. Whew, man. I'm not going to ask for any more volunteer work from here on out because I just can't manage the schedule yet. This phase 1 campaign is just so much. But, some of you might be tuning in for the first time, so you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But, I'm kind of have the habit of talking to people who follow this show because the ones who reach out to me are the ones that I know that follow. So, I tend to talk to you a little bit more versus new people, and I got to work on that. So if you don't know what America First Texas really is, we're more than just a podcast. We started off as a podcast, and we have evolved into something way more, way deeper. And they're 2 completely separate things now. So this show is, it's not a podcast. The America First Texas podcast was a little something, we tried in the past, but it was just a tremendous amount of work. So this show is intended to be a mouthpiece for the company America First Texas LLC. And here is what a synopsis of America First Texas looks like. Welcome to America First Texas. We are the Texas region of the America First movement. Based in DFW, serving Texans statewide, we are a network of proud, patriotic, values-driven citizens who prioritize faith, family, and freedom. As America became unaffordable, families across the nation began looking to Texas for opportunity. America First Texas opens its arms with a powerful America First ecosystem dedicated to building a foundation that helps transition and transform you, your family, and your local economy. Whether you do not live in Texas yet or you are already a resident of this great state, we are going to provide you with real area-specific statistics, visual community walkthroughs, local representative introductions, and America First Texas vetted and approved local businesses that align with your values. At America First Texas, we are doing the groundwork for you. so you can confidently support local restaurants, connect with trusted dentists and doctors, explore schools and education options, transition into new career opportunities through our staffing services, and work with realtors and builders who want to help you establish your new home foundation. Follow along, subscribe, and share this with those close to you as we build the strongest America First ecosystem in Texas. Thanks for being here. So, yeah, that is what America First Texas is about. We are here to help and transform you and your life and your local economy. Still got a lot of work to do, but we are in the beginning stages of this process, and that's what we're about. So, uh, from the video is mostly filmed by me. There is some AI in there for some filler areas, which I will be able to replace in the near future. And that goes as far as the events, filming the doctors, pretty much everything that you can notice that was AI, we're going to be replacing with actual footage. But for this time being, this is just what we can put together. And something that you should know about that video, our videography services are more than just like, hey, I need a cool video for my company. And a lot of companies have hired videographers who uh, aren't really deep into the business side of things. They're more of like, I'm going to make you look good because posting a bunch of content all the time is how you generate leads. Which I've talked to some marketers and they argue against that, but that's because they don't know how to film or use video. Um, and they'll tell you that posting on Facebook isn't marketing. Uh, it is. It is. But there's so many other things that you can use a camera for. Um, and it's more than just, hey, I need social media content. So I've got layers and layers and layers and structures of different types of ways that you can use content that can help your business in so many different ways. If you want to find out why, contact at americafirsttexas.com, send that email to that email address, and we can do a discovery call and I'll talk to you. And when we get done talking, you'll be like, oh, okay, okay, okay. It's very simple, but until you've actually been doing this for a while, there's just a lot of things that you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. It's like me going into your company that I don't know anything about. I barely even know the name of your company or what industry you're in, and I can tell you all about what you do. It's not going to happen. Same thing here. Just because you have hired a videographer before doesn't mean you know anything about what all this can actually entail. It's insane that you can just show up and turn on a camera and capture all this stuff and you expect it to be done for $100. It's expensive because it's effective and it requires a lot of work. We have cheap options if you want to spend, you know, a couple of $100 a month for your social media content, you can do that. We will still do a bang out job for you, but if you don't get the results, it's because of your budget. It's not because of the content that we can produce. So, yeah, so send us an email there and we'll get back to you there. That is our it's probably our strongest niche is the video, photo, and digital marketing areas. Not even digital, just honestly, simply just marketing. We're kind of accustomed to say digital marketing because it's been so popular lately, but honestly, physical marketing and organic marketing, those are arguably like as strong in most senses. But with video gets the message across. It conveys information like 90 times faster than text. So, I mean, this is where it's at. Um, and we've been doing this for what, 12 years now. So hit us up. Hit us up. We'll change things for you. Believe me. So anyway, we have some interesting things coming up. We have you know what? I didn't get content for this. Why did I not do this? Are you serious right now? Or did I? Golly. Oh yeah, I did get a little bit. I should have got more. This Sunday coming up, it is the Freedom 250. It is President Trump's birthday, and we are having the UFC fight on the White House lawn. I personally think it's freaking awesome. Um, let's see. Hopefully, this is the right one. Yeah, so we'll be celebrating 250 at the White House. Um, President Trump's dream last year was that we would celebrate America 250 all year long. And I don't really feel like we have. And this is no reflection on President Trump's part. This is a reflection on the general public, in my opinion, because none of us are really pumped up or excited about hardly anything that's going on. We're so fixated on the stupidest shit. And man, I've been trying to like keep this in the front of my mind like all year long. I've been excited since January 1st that this is the 250th birthday of this country. A quarter of a millennium is that even right? A millennium's 100 years. No, a century's 100. Yeah, a millennium's 1,000 years. So a quarter of a millennium, it's huge. Most countries don't even make it 250 years. Not only that, but Texas, America is the only country in the existence of the entire history of the world that was birthed out of Christianity. And we made it 250 years, and we're the number one religion in the world. And we've overcome so much. And I made a post a couple of days ago that I've probably never been as proud to be American as I am like today, and that I can see that in the near future, over the progress of the next 3 years, that feeling is going to evolve and get greater and greater and greater. And I can't say that a lot of people are like willing to say that, and it's because we've been so distracted by people within our own camp that are on the right that have been in this like maneuvering power struggle to capture your mind and take you down like their own mental path so that we can break up MAGA into like subcultures and factions so that these smaller factions can have power later after Trump is out of office. Like they're taking proactive steps. For example, Tucker Carlson, anybody that has supported Ron DeSantis, or Ted Cruz, that whole subsection of people, it's like friendly competitiveness, but it's not friendly anymore. But these people are like, they have broken off the positive mind frame of so many smart people too. Uh Completely Trump dedicated loyalists have broken off. Um it's been the craziest thing to watch. And it's distracted you from I mean, it's just distracted you from the 250th birthday of the whole country. Like nobody's even talking about it or celebrating it really. This should be huge. Like look what happens like in China. They take a whole month off for their New Year's. Like we do, we don't celebrate like we should. But I try to every day. I mean, I'm pumped about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. I want to find things to do. There should be an event going on in every city in every state every month for a countdown. But there's not like hardly anything going on. And now you've got this UFC fight coming up on the front lawn that honestly, like if you're realistic without anybody else's opinion, without reading any posts or comments, this is badass. This is badass. But people are like, it's idiocracy. This is just like idiocracy. No, it's not. If you think that this is like idiocracy, that means you think that President Trump has like, you know, like mental problems or something. Like this is an embarrassment. This is sick. What are you talking about? Look at this. Oh, that's patriotic summer. I'm a little slow on my content, but look at this.
We all know President Trump loves UFC crowds, and they love him.
New construction is underway for an unprecedented spectacle.
Yeah, the Octagon is coming to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
I think it's going to be the biggest event we've ever had.
There's going to be 4,300 people there, and most of them will be military.
It's going to be a one-of-one type of show.
This is the hottest ticket in town.
This has all of the ingredients needed for the biggest fight in UFC history.
Yeah, dude, that's badass. Now, obviously, there's a tremendous amount of people who think that too. So, you know, there is that. But the people who are the loudest online, they think the opposite. Like, I know, I can think of a handful of people that I know support President Trump, but they've talked shit about this the entire time it's gone on. Like, your opinion is retarded. If you think this is anything like the movie Idiocracy, you're an idiot. You really are. You're fucking stupid. This is badass. This is like one of the most badass things you can do. And it'll never be done again, more than likely. If it's ever done again under anybody else, then you can say some dumb shit like, yeah, this is like Idiocracy. But you're talking about President Trump. If you think there's any relation to anything mediocre or retarded about this because President Trump is doing it, I got news for you. You're the one that's retarded. This is badass. And he's the only one that could pull something like this off, probably. Maybe JD Vance or somebody, whoever's coming up next. Anything that's more aligned and as badass as this administration is, maybe they can pull something like this off too, but dude, there will never be another President Trump. So yeah, President Trump's not an idiot. I have news for you. It's you. You're an idiot and you need to shut your mouth and you need to recognize. So that's where we're at. Speaking of Pete Hegseth and JD Vance, it was Pete Hegseth's birthday this week. And you know what's crazy? His birthday's on D-Day. How badass is that? Y'all sleep on this guy. When's your birthday? D-Day. When's President Trump's birthday? Flag Day. Like, this is insane. Like, you think that these people aren't like aligned correctly? It couldn't be more like obviously set up. Like, this is how God works, and that's freaking crazy. So happy birthday to the Department of War's Pete Hegseth. Dude, it's fucking nuts. So yeah, dude, that guy's awesome. I like that guy. Pete Hegseth is awesome. I hate that I'm cussing so much today. I'm kind of on one today, to be honest with you. I missed you guys, and I'm a little fired up for today. I'm getting pretty aggressive with work here, and I'm changing my tune. I'm shifting into a whole new gear. I'm going from like first gear to second gear, and then like back to third and back down to second. So I'm shifting a lot, and dealing with some of these new clients. I'm not in this like era where there's so much pushback on the dumbest shit that like I kind of have to talk like this now. I can't really like be nice, play nice. It doesn't convey the correct message. It's just coming off as the same thing as everybody else offers, and that's not what I offer. And America First Texas is like, we're a serious brand. This isn't like, you know, like my dream realm pictures where I think that I can go make movies, but I end up doing commercial content. Like this is serious stuff. And we're here to literally fix your problem. Like we're not here just to collect a big paycheck off of you. Obviously we need to get paid for the work that we do, because the work that we do will like change everything about your company. And we're going to hire nothing but the people who are aligned in that area, that have the same expertise, or hopefully more, that even I do. So we're going to surround ourselves by like A+ elite team members and networking. So like we're not playing around here. Um, so that's you're gonna see a change in my language, and I'm gonna try to tone it down for the show a little bit too. This is kind of where this might be to where I need to start doing more than just a weekly show, just so I can probably blow off some steam and have some fun and be myself on here, because I can already tell just by the general outreach sales conversations that I'm having, I'm already having to beat some people over the head. Um, and it's gonna obviously stay that way. I think I'm actually gonna have to get probably more aggressive. So yeah, I want to make it a friendly show in case you watch this around your kids or playing on your phone. Yeah, I don't want to be swearing too much because I'm trying to attract a bigger audience, as big of an audience as I can, because we need to corral everybody back together eventually. I know that's President Trump's plan, but the timing of that we'll find out. Um, but I'm also fired up today too. I could definitely go and be a lot. I could definitely be going a lot harder than this, but I'll try to relax a little bit. And I just had 2 coffees, so I'm a little jacked up, but I'll try not to swear as much. But I've got to get the message across, and I've got to convey some things, and I've just got to be straight up with you and honest. And I got to shame the people who have these negative mindsets and are affecting the rest of the crowd. So, sometimes you just got to talk down to these people. You got to talk shit. It just is what it is. I think that part of America is back anyway. That's basically what America was founded on, was FU. So, America's back. This is what you get. But I know that, like I said, trying to attract the biggest audience possible, and I don't want to scare people off if you have kids around. So I'm going to try to be more mindful as much as I can. But full disclosure today, I'm kind of on one. So we'll see where we go from here. So where are we at? We've had 500 days of MAGA. Let's see what President Trump's got to say. Passed the working families tax cuts, secured the border, lowered crime rates, unleashed American energy, Trump accounts, big one. God, I can't wait to have kids. Lowered prescription drug prices, ended transgender insanity, making America healthy again, ended DEI. I'm really glad that he posted this, because something need to be conveyed to the general public. We're so caught up in like Epstein, and I don't even know what else. I try to block all this other dumb bullshit out of my head so I can focus on the things that are going on. That I'm so glad that President Trump made this. Here's a list of things that I've already accomplished. Do you keep seeing that post scroll down like, MAGA, what is it honestly about President Trump that he's done so far that you can actually say has benefited you? Well, here's a list. President Trump has got his finger on the pulse still for you to let you know, here's all the talking points. You can find one, and that's it. The Trump accounts. He secured the future for my evolution and my offspring. Cool. I don't have to tell you the rest of this. I don't talk to these people who say this stuff anymore anyway, because they don't care. They're not here to like have a general good conversation. They're here to tear down your bullet points and twist and turn and, manipulate you anyway, which is why I understand most of you don't speak up and talk to these people anyway, which is honestly commendable. That's good practice as well. But I still think that you need to start speaking up on things, because he could do a whole lot more if you rally and get behind him and speak up. He wants to get rid of the IRS. That benefits everybody. But you know what? You don't speak up. You don't talk about it. You're like, I don't want to post about politics. I know somebody who wouldn't like that I wrote that somebody's mom somewhere wouldn't like that I wrote something positive about Trump, so I'm not going to speak up. It's so stupid, man. Y'all have got to grow up. Y'all have got to grow up. Time to speak up. Yeah, I want the IRS gone. And you're going to get pushback by somebody who's, don't you want the roads fixed? Don't talk to them. Just make your statement, see what their response is, and then search why. Well, how else could we do this? Oh, so the private companies would do it like they already are. You'll find the answers if you just start speaking up and then ask God, well, what's the real answer to this? And he'll show you. Just speak up. Just start saying something. Write a line here and there. So yeah, 500 days of MAGA. Here's what we got. Here's a nice list. I mean, all of it. All of it. My friends have gotten bigger tax cuts this year. My friend just ran to the bank with a huge check. He's like, whoa, this is my tax return? Like, yeah. Yeah, it is. We got one too. Everybody got one. Everybody's making more money right now. So yeah, where am I on this? Job market. This was interesting. This came out this weekend. Jobs added in May. 172,000 jobs added last month. Just look at that. It's beautiful. And I think that the number was 129,000 private sector jobs. Over double. And President Trump just said in the interview it was triple. Close to triple. So 172 divided by 3, that's like it's like 6,000, a little less than 5,700. So they were guessing there would be like what, 57,000? I mean, this is the White House page and they wrote over double, but President Trump was like emphasizing basically triple. So that's like 57,000 jobs and then did like 115,000 on top of that or whatever the number is. I'm just general numbers. But yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And that's, what was it in April? I mean, there's been like over 500,000 jobs added just this year, right? I forgot what this graphic is. Let me see. Okay, well, I'll just move on to this. In fact, I'm gonna pull this down a little bit. It's a little hard for me to read here. Oh crap, what did I just do? I have that song from the intro stuck in my head. Delivering for Americans added 172,000 jobs in May, more than double expectations. Private sector added 902,000 jobs since Trump took office. Damn. 902,000 jobs added in 1 year and 5 months. I take that back. 1 year and 4 months. I'm going to give them like every ounce of credit. Almost 1 million jobs since he was inaugurated. U.S. manufacturing grew at fastest pace in 4 years. Rental concessions hit record high in April. Renters now have more options and leverage than in years. That is clearly apparent in Austin, Texas. Rent is dropping pretty drastically over there. So we will see what happens with this influx of relocators whenever the mortgage rates hopefully go down by the end of the year. And then the Treasury analysis of working family tax cuts. 96% of filers earning under 200,000 received a tax cut. 70% of filers earning under 100K received a tax cut. And those tax cuts were significant. Significant. I forgot who was mentioning this, but somebody was mentioning that, you know, if wages are not properly increasing, that you might want to look at reducing your deductions on your taxes. Now you can either get a big tax refund again next year, if you want to make more per month or per week or bi-weekly, go look at reducing some of your deductions. That way you can give yourself a raise, because you know, the job market still needs a lot of improvement. And that part of that is because of the interest rates being so high that a lot of these companies can't refinance their debt, and it's hard for them to grow. Especially what Powell raised the rates like 2 more times the same week on his way out. Dude, he's screwing everybody over. So you need more money, go redo your deductions and take less out, and then you'll still get a refund. But he has cut so much from the taxes, from your federal income taxes, that you can literally make more money per month if you just go redo your employment taxes. Something interesting happened this weekend too. This just got released, and I was trying to remember exactly what my reaction was. I laughed, but like, I'm still surprised it even does these interviews, but I don't really have an opinion on it, because I put myself in President Trump's shoes, and I wouldn't even entertain these people, or I would troll them really hard. But like, that's why I'm not president. That's why he is. Like, he can handle these people so well. And this thing was hilarious. This video of NBC, dude, this cracked me up so much. And coming from somebody who does videography, lighting, miking, all of these things, watching this happen and knowing what that just cost. I mean, to NBC, it's nothing, but like to a small production company, I've had clients that have been like really disrespectful. And I mean, really disrespectful. Even with a grand slam deal, high quality output, and like a deal of a lifetime. It doesn't matter to some of these people. Some people are just a piece of shit, even if they're aligned on your side. And that's what this company is. NBC is a piece of shit. So this reminds me of a situation that I went through. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I had a client that was a complete piece of shit to me. And I made them so much money off my video campaign. It was the biggest I had ever seen. And I didn't know it was going to grow like that. I was like, what? Now, it was just a revenue. They have a lot of expenses incurred in it. But, dude, they treated me so trashy. And I wasn't in competition with anybody. I wasn't racing to the bottom. I just did good business. I gave them good, solid business. They were a piece of shit. But this clip reminded me of something that happened to me in the past. And I was on the opposite side, but I like this.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right now in
2020 election was
California.
rigged.
Right now, it's look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. It's no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with.
How they count
you know
the
why
votes
they're doing
in
that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
all I have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
That's not evidence.
And I listen to people, and let's see what happens.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes in California.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a winner?
State and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote in California.
They're crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
really.
Let's
well,
continue.
You play right into their hands.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play right into their hands with this rap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I got that? Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country.
But, sir,
your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know.
I've sat in the rain with you for an hour, on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what? A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Oh, crunch. Just stomped on that bitch. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You see how he's talking to her? Dude, we all need to do this. We all need to speak like this. You have to talk down to these people. I mean, I don't want you to get fired from your job or anything like that. But you probably need to go work somewhere else where you can have a fresh start and where we can redo the culture the way that it's supposed to be. There's new companies popping up all over the place. You can literally go start there and generate your own new culture. There's ways to do it. You don't have to talk politics at work to install your mind frame. But you can do it in a way where everybody just knows, like, oh, you're not a commie Democrat, you know. You can tell that this person is who they are. So you take the left's game away from them. But stomping on that mic is hilarious. And I guarantee you that's not a cheap one. That's any mic of quality that's a lavalier mic in a broadcast like NBC, that's at least $1,000 mic. My mics are like, I mean, I've got $1,000 setup on my microphone system. That's not these. These are really expensive. But my lavalier microphone setup, those are, you know, I've spent a good $1,000 on that. And that's not even like the highest quality one that there is. In fact, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't spend more money on it, but it's worked for the most part. But in certain scenarios and circumstances, I see why you need to go like $1,000 per microphone. Once you get into higher quality stuff and more like serious work, I see why it's so expensive because they are so scientifically engineered. Like this microphone, for example, if I talk way back here, my voice will go in and out. Now I'm projecting so you can hear me, but really these microphones are like meant to be like up close because they capture the whole dynamic range of highs and lows and basses and trebles in your voice, so that my voice that you're listening to through your headphones or through your speaker actually sounds as close to my actual voice that it possibly can, which conveys the most authenticity to your ears and to your brain that I can deliver to you. So I picked this microphone on purpose so that you could capture the absolute closest essence of my authenticity to convey the things that I say to you. Especially if you have headphones in or decent quality headphones, then you can hear the deepness in my voice. You can hear the bass and the lows in my delivery. That you can hear because I'm saying something from my chest. You can it delivers differently. So there's something about these microphones that are literally scientifically engineered and they do work. So those microphones like he just stomped on, that's at least a $1,000 microphone. And I know that because there's something that I have my eye on, which is a $1,000 microphone. And it is something I'm going to have to invest in soon. I've been looking at them. So being a network like that, that's probably closer to like a $2,300 microphone. I bet you that one's even more expensive. So he just stomped on a couple grand, which I mean, obviously that's nothing to NBC, but I'm just making a point like that's why to me it's funny. Because my microphone setup for my lavalier setup for interviews or whatever, they're expensive. And I had somebody mistreat it really bad after I did everything for them and generated a revenue for them and everything. And we continued with the series. They just like threw it and didn't give a shit and left it like they had no respect. It was one of the most disrespectful things I had seen so far in business. I was like, and you're just mad because I'm not some stupid cameraman showing up with a camera and a microphone. And then he tried to replicate what I do, and it was the stupidest shit I had ever seen. I was like, dude, are y'all really that pressed? Like, is saving a dime really that important to you to where you're just going to try to DIY this for a major, like not a major company, but they're a big company. And they really wanted to go the DIY route to like save money on a slam dunk grand slam deal that I gave you. Like, dude, that's one of the hardest things about being in this industry, doing multimedia, There's no respect. And anybody who bought a camera is a business owner. It is so difficult, but once you get used to it and you build yourself up and your skill set and your intellect is there, dude, you'll always have to fight. And I've come to that conclusion. I'm always going to have to fight, and that's fine with me. But that's why I'll always rise higher. I'll always climb higher. But the subject of that interview, that was the more interesting aspect, I would say. But I love that clip. It's crunching on that mic.
It was honest.
Listen, we traveled all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Oh, so satisfying. You know, I'm not into that ASMR shit, but I like sound effects. You know, I do video editing. Hearing that crunch, I'm like, oh, there goes a couple $1,000. But it is so satisfying. I think that's my new favorite sound. I'm gonna sound clip that. Yep. I'm making that a sound bite. That is going to be a sound effect I'm adding. I love that, man. That's awesome. But the subject of that interview is interesting. He's talking about you have the president of the United States highlighting that California is rigging an election right now in real time. And you're watching it right before your eyes. Now, you know, I had someone ask me that was really interesting. In fact, they didn't ask me. Well, they had asked if I had seen Pratt running and how he's like standing up and going against the communists. And I was like, yeah. And they're excited about it. You know, it shows you how far people who don't pay attention to politics at all, they just, you know, hear about the mess. You can tell how far like down the pathology mentally that some of these people are, because they just want to be nice and get along, have peace and all that. And I get it, but like it's been so long now that I just don't understand how you're just right now getting it's 2026 and you're getting your heart broken right now. That's opening up your eyes. Like, I had somebody ask me about Pratt running for mayor. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to win. As soon as I saw that he was running, and what I knew before, his house got burned down and he was speaking out. Like, I had seen a video on it, but I completely disregarded it because it's California. I'm like, he's not winning that. They can't afford for him to win that. Like, that's over before it started. He's not winning. Now we're watching it in real time, and it's pretty interesting.
Mayor's race as Nithya Raman, who is polling at third, suddenly gaining some ground, adding 10,000 votes as those mail-in ballots were counted. That closed the gap with second-place candidate Spencer Pratt. The U.S. Attorney's Office visiting an L.A. County vote processing center on Friday to observe the counting after President Trump called for an investigation. According to U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley, there is no evidence of anything illegal, but he says they will follow any new evidence wherever it leads them. Also, Karen Bass speaking today at an immigration roundtable, saying she's not concerned about this process.
All weekend, including right after this, I'm in a meeting in Long Beach with the U.S. Conference of Mayors. There are several hundred mayors there. You know what the hot topic is? This is the hot topic right now. And people worried about elections, we're fortunate we don't have to worry about that here.
Damn.
And California Secretary of State
We don't have to worry about that here. They don't have to worry about losing elections.
Mayor's race.
Long Beach with the U.S. there. You know what the hot topic is? This is the hot topic right now. And people worried about elections, we're fortunate we don't have to worry about that here.
And California Secretary of State Shirley Weber reminding voters here in the Golden State that the counting probably will take up to 30 days after the election. So got to have a lot of patience. It's a whole
30 days. In fact, I think I saw the updated estimate was 39 days. Dude, it's election day. We have an election that day to find out the results are. Over a month? God. Man, it's so obvious, dude. What's that Middle East country? They have like a billion ballots or something, 2 billion or something. That's not right. I forget where it is. Somebody over in the Middle East. I mean, that would be China. But I don't know. Somebody has a tremendous amount of ballots and they count them all on the same day. It's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, it's interesting to watch it in real time. I'm interested to see what's going to transpire from this. See, at that point in time in this video, that was like 2 days ago. So Pratt was in second place, but mail-in ballots came in. It's not the case anymore.
By about 3,000 votes into that critical second place spot. If Rahman holds on to her lead, she'll advance to the runoff election against Mayor Karen Bass in the fall. Now, before the ballot dump yesterday, Spencer Pratt posted in part, writing, "We've got all the way till July 6th to keep counting. They're not the only ones who know where to find votes." Now, moments after the new numbers came in, Mayor Karen Bass's campaign released a statement attacking Rahman and labeling Rahman her general election opponent, seemingly ruling out a Pratt comeback. A Bass spokesperson writing, "We look forward to winning a contest against an opponent who allows encampments near schools and fights against hiring more cops, yet is MIA on saving Hollywood jobs and fighting back when ICE invades LA." Now, on Friday, we interacted with an assistant U.S. attorney inside the ballot counting facility here. The DOJ says he was observing, and the first assistant U.S. attorney in LA, Bill Asaley, says California has refused to give the federal government its voter rolls and allows first-time voters to use IDs like gym and debit cards. Asaley also writes, California allows third parties to collect and turn in ballots on voters' behalf, a practice known as ballot harvesting with few restrictions. This makes it difficult to track who actually received, completed, and submitted each ballot. Now, Asaley says there are ongoing voter fraud investigations here in Southern California. He points to a recent woman who was arrested for allegedly paying people on Skid Row to register to vote. Bill, Dana.
Matt Finn, thank you. Nice to
I mean, that's why the NBC reporter was asking him, "Where's your evidence? What evidence do you have?" Because she knows it's so covered up. How do you prove it? With math and statistics, but that's not how the left plays their game. The left needs to have like impossible evidence to be like, yeah, okay, you got me. And here's the update. Here is as I think like an hour or two ago. Here's where they stand. Karen Bass obviously in the lead. And this woman Rahman out of nowhere. She's already beaten him. But we got 3 or 4 more weeks till they finish counting everything. And is that 83% reporting? 83% reporting. So they have a 17% more. And I think what I saw was that it was 24,000 mail-in ballots came in. 0% were for Pratt. That's crazy. What's California? What are you going to do? That was over before it started. I already knew. They can't afford to let that guy win. They'll expose shit. It's also why so many Democrats left California. You know, one of those things that, one of those billboards we always used to see around here in Texas, don't California my Texas, don't create what you fled from. And I was like, I tried to tell as many people as I could. I was like, look, they're not fleeing. Some are. Some can't afford it. But most of these people are not fleeing California. The Democrats are not fleeing that state. They got the state they wanted. They're moving because they know that these elections are over. They don't need to stay around anymore. They've got a grip on it. It's over there. Let's move on and go to another state. That's why they all came to Texas, to do the same thing, which is why we needed to vote all these rhinos out. And we are. So we're safe. And anybody's wondering if Paxton and Tallarico is going to be a close race. It's not going to be close. Don't worry. Do not be scared. Do not fret. Just like the government in California will not let Pratt win, the people of Texas will not let Telewico win. Telewico. Yeah, yes. Yeah, do not worry about that. That's over. Just go vote and you'll be good. But yeah. That is insane. Look at that. 83% reporting. That dude got no votes for all those 24,000 mail-in votes. I think it's 24,000. Wow. It is what it is. But, our Congress still won't pass the Save America Act. And it's right there in front of your face. Like right now is the case for it. That's what I'm saying. Like people on the right who were hardcore Trump supporters and like turned away because of Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and all these retards. They've lost sight that like they really think that President Trump is like a Superman. Like he can literally, like he's a genie. Like he can literally snap his fingers and turn this off. But you can't. So much of this involves you. It involves you personally. You have to speak up, get more people to do the same thing. You have to become activated and activate more people. Because the left's base is 100% activated. 100% activated. Do you know of a Democrat that is not activated? If you do, they're misleading you. And they're telling you that they're not because they know that you're probably looking for people who are subconsciously. So they divert you. I don't care. I don't care. They're filling in those boxes as fast as possible. Yeah. I was going to transition into this next segment by this book. And it was a perfect transition, but I forgot what I was going to do to get here. But we're going to get into some Texas news. Wow, I forgot what the transition is. Well, what is the Texas news? This is going to be a subject that I don't really talk about very often, but since this is the biggest subject in Texas news right now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. And this is it. This is the subject we're going to talk about. And you know why we're going to talk about it? Because we're forced to talk about it. So I hope that you're listening to me right now, and I hope that you take my words and consume them. Because my thoughts on this hopefully should be closer to where your thoughts need to be. Now, is my perspective the most acute and perfect perspective? I would not say yes to that question, but I would say I'm a lot closer than the average majority of what you're going to read online or hear. If you watch any of my earlier episodes, I talk about the perspective, I forgot exactly how I lined that out, but the spectrum of a population, whether it's a race, a gender, or a people or religion, whatever, there is a spectrum and there's a percentage amount of those people on that spectrum on the two categories. And it really comes down to a good or evil, which, how much of a percentage of the population is evil versus good. And you can tell by the comments that there is one area where they are overwhelmingly outspoken on the evil side. Now, obviously, I think that this case, which should be ending, I would say, it sounds like it might end this week. This case, this situation has been like elevated across at least the country. It has been shoved down everybody's throat. And I think it was done so that the general public could have not only general public, I would say at the time it was the deep state, they could have a finger on the pulse on race relations. And if you observe people in the comment section, you can tell where the mentality is. So I think that the outcome of this trial is going to affect um, the hive mind of both white and black people. Um, and I'm hoping that the outcome corrects somewhat of the hive mind. I don't even like talking about it. Race just isn't something I like to get into because, like I said, the way that my mind works is I walk around and I look for people to see where they are on the spectrum of things. I'm definitely not like somebody who wakes up and sees someone's skin color and it gets triggered. Like there's a lot of people like that. But I'm so evolved past that. It's hard to speak to you in a way that can hopefully educate you on how to look at people as well. And I think a lot of people are mature enough to do that already anyway, but maybe you just need a little bit of verbal programming about it. It's clear that this case has completely revolved around race. I mean, I don't really need even to get into the details. You've probably seen most of the videos. I know you've read the comments because you can't help but to. And it's clearly a racial divide on this case, you know. And from my perspective, if I were to guess whether the actual death was race related, I would put it on the lower end of the spectrum. And the reason I say that, because what we're upset about is that a black kid killed a white kid when there was seemingly no threat to life, which I would agree. But what I've come to understand about misled black people like Karmelo Anthony, it's a smaller group of them than you think. And they're brainwashed. So do they have a hatred for white people? They have more, I would say they have more of a hatred for white people than white people have for black people. I would say they win that by the numbers. By a whole lot, I don't know. By a little bit, maybe. But I would say because of they're so outspoken, it would appear like they are. But so many black people kill each other in the same instance. It makes me think that this isn't really race related. I just think they have bad impulse control, these smaller groups. And that's why I'm saying the outcome of this trial might help mature that subsection of black people who are brainwashed. Now, given the kid is 17, he's not an adult. So his brain hasn't fully matured to understand hardly anything about the world anyway. But looking at the interviews and the witnesses, I mean, the state already rested its case just a few days in. They brought up 60% of the witnesses, 21 out of 35, and it's not looking good for him. I don't think he can get the death penalty because he was 17 when this happened, but I think he can probably get life in prison, which I would imagine that's what's going to happen. I would imagine if I were to guess, he's going to get life in prison. I would say with the possibility of parole, I would guess. This is just me personally, and this is from seeing somebody in high school that I went to school with that killed somebody over a couple $100. He got out. He went to prison and he's out of prison. So, and he shot this guy in front of his kids and everything. So, and that wasn't race related. They were both black guys. So given that situation and seeing what I've seen, I would imagine that Karmelo Anthony is probably going to get life in prison with the possibility of parole at 30 years. That's what I would guess, because this is a pretty much open and shut case. There's video evidence. Supposedly nobody's seen it because it's, confiscated. I guess they saw it in court, but This is unfortunately impulse control, and I think if this wasn't so shoved down everybody's throat through the media, this wouldn't be as big of a deal as it is, even though it's big and controversial. But you can tell that people have no perspective on anything. They just have something to say because so many people are racists. They hate the other race. And having plenty of discussions with so many different people, like I know the hatred of white people. I don't want to say I've been victim to it because I hate that terminology and I hate that mind frame, but let's just say that I have a lot of experience in being hated because I'm white. So that being said, it sucks that this happened, but I think that this is probably going to mature a lot of people. Because I think there's going to be accountability when a lot of people on Karmelo's defense are betting that he's going to come out of this and be free. They're putting a lot of chips in. So I think a lot of people are investing in this thinking it's going to come out in their favor. And I don't see how it will. I think it's going to be completely opposite of their favor. I think he's going to get life in prison with possibility of parole 30 years or whatever. That's what I guess. But a lot of people also don't have a visual perspective of much of this either. It's all just comments and protesters or whatever. Here's what's crazy. Check this out. So he stabbed this kid in the heart and killed him. And he raised over $624,000, right? Yeah, over $624,000. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is going to be a big shot. This dude raised well over $500,000. And he's using a public defender. That's why I'm saying, like, this isn't race related. This is black people getting a wake up call. And I don't mean like just black people. I'm talking about a subsection of a subculture of the black population. And then you know who I'm talking about. My black friends are watching this. You know what I'm talking about. We have our own too. But yeah, after all this money they raise, he's got a public defender. And that subsection of the black population that funded this, you're getting hosed. Getting hosed, just like BLM did to you. Donated all the money to Act Blue. Now he's using a public defender. I don't know how many of y'all been in court, but when I was in court and I saw somebody using a public defender, I think it was like $50 or something. Like it was cheap. 500 maybe. Maybe it was more expensive, but it was like $50 a day or something. It's government appointed, so it is like dude, y'all just like this subsection of the black population donated well over $500,000 to support Karmelo Anthony for stabbing a white kid in the chest and killing him. That's basically what it comes down to. Y'all just paid this dude over $500,000 to kill a white kid. After, not premeditated, but after. But that's what it's boiling down to. Because Karmelo Anthony's family grifted that money and spent that on houses, cars, whatever. And now he's using a public defender. It's probably $50 a day. They know he's going to prison. It's over. You get a public defender, you're gone. Which is probably why they grifted the money. They knew it was over. They knew it was over before they even went to trial. So yeah, they kept the money. They spent your money. And maybe those people are happy about that. That is nuts.
The first of what's expected to be several track and field teammates of
This is
Austin
what it
Metcalf
looks like. This is the
testified
site.
as witnesses during the Karmelo Anthony murder trial. Those who were under the tent at Kirkendall Stadium on April 2nd, 2025, described the scene before, during, and after the fatal stabbing. A 17-year-old testified, "I remember people confronting Karmelo and saying, 'You shouldn't be here. You probably should leave our tent.' I also said you should leave." Prosecutor, "Was it aggressive? I don't think so. I remember it getting more aggressive. I remember Karmelo refusing to leave and Austin saying, 'You need to leave,' and Karmelo saying, 'Touch me and find out.'" That student and others say the defendant was asked to leave as many as 15 times. Prosecutors asked him, "Did anyone try to gang up on him?" His answer, "No, sir." "How long did this go on?" "Roughly 2 minutes." "Was Karmelo angry?" "Yes, sir." "Was Austin angry?" "Yes, sir." Karmelo started refusing to leave. Prosecutors, "Who was provoking?" "Karmelo." Austin leans in to push him and Karmelo stabs him. Karmelo had his hands inside a backpack and we thought it was a bluff. He says he and others didn't believe Karmelo would do anything because they live in a, quote, safe community. Austin fell down the bleachers onto his back and he got up. He lifted up his shirt where his chest was all bloody and he said, "I think I got stabbed." Prosecutor, "Did he say anything?" "I think he said, 'Oh my God.'" Another student, Jalen Matthews, backed up the state's case when prosecutors asked him, "Did it look like Austin was trying to pick a fight?" His answer, "No, sir." "Did it look like Karmelo Anthony was trying to pick a fight?" "Yes, sir." "Did this look like self-defense to you?" "No, sir." "Was Karmelo Anthony the aggressor?" Witness, "Yes, sir."
Not looking good.
Odd that Karmelo Anthony was sitting under another school's team tent. Witnesses also said that 17-year-old Austin Metcalf repeatedly asked Anthony, who he didn't know, to leave. One student testified that Anthony was asked to leave roughly 15 times. Prosecutors say the confrontation escalated when Anthony pulled out a 5-inch folding knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Jurors were shown grainy surveillance footage that appeared to show this physical confrontation just lasted a matter of seconds. Anthony has pleaded not guilty to murder. His attorneys argue that he acted in self-defense and out of fear. Now, one of the key exchanges today came from an 18-year-old track athlete who knew both Anthony and Metcalf. Let's bring you to that back and forth. The prosecutor asks, "Was Austin starting to get mad?" The witness says he was getting defensive. "Someone we didn't know was in the tent. He's always leading. He's always protecting us." Prosecutor asks, "After that?" Karmelo said, "You will have to move me." Austin put his hand on his back. "I saw Karmelo's hand go in the backpack. We're at a track meet. I wouldn't expect anything to be in there." Karmelo said, "Touch me. You'll have to move me and find out," trying to provoke him. Then what happens? The teen witness says Austin put his hands on him and then falls back. The prosecutor asks, "How was Austin trying to move him?" The witness replies, "It was him trying to move him off his seat, a soft shove." What did Austin do? The witness then said, "I see a hole in his chest and blood." He starts screaming for help. We're told from reporters inside the courtroom, meanwhile, that the medical examiner is testifying right now. Metcalf's family has stepped outside the courtroom so that they don't have to hear this. Meanwhile, Anthony, who is charged with murder, faces up to life in prison if he is convicted, John.
Brooke Taylor reporting from Texas. Brooke, thank you.
Yeah, see, he faces up to life in prison. Yeah, that's what I guess. I would expect, I mean, this is open and shut. Andy is a public defender and they grifted all the cash to use for his defense. Like, it's over, man. It's over. That dude's going to prison forever. I would, like I said, I would get, if I were to guess, he'll be eligible for parole. So that's where I would put my finger on. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're gonna stab somebody because somebody is like trying to get you to move from an area that you've just planted yourself in, and you stab him in the heart and kill him, dude. Like, I mean, he's 17, so. But you don't get grace and like you don't get fair, like, I'm not fair treatment, but you don't get like your pedestal that you think that you're gonna get just because you're a black guy. Like, you can't just kill people. And it's Texas, man. We're not a communist state. We're not California. We're not the East Coast. Like, It's over, dude. You're going to prison. It's over. So there's not going to be much sympathy for you because that dude, that other kid's not even here. Like, he's gone. You took his life away from him. Like, you're gone, dude. You're done. So it was open and shut before it started also. Probably the only time I'll talk about it unless something else needs to be addressed race-wise. But I just don't like talking about race. I don't think it's good for anybody. And I don't think that way. So it's harder for me to, it's not harder for me. I just don't want to. I just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. Because this is designed for everybody. So the last thing I want to do is alienate the black population just because I'm a white guy and I have a MAGA hat on and I'm America first and I have an opinion on black people. You know, I don't look at black people like black people, look at them as a spectrum. Where are you on the spectrum of, you know, good or evil, left or right? That's all I look for. That's where my filter comes in. And it's always going to be that way. Always has been, always will be. That's just how I was born. I don't know if it's just my mental makeup, my soul makeup. I'm not really sure, but you know, it just is. That's how I am. So I don't care. But yeah, and this isn't like the era of Obama or Biden anymore either. So like this dude's getting no special treatment. Like he's gone. Speaking of, do y'all remember, we're going to move on to another section, but there's still something that hasn't fixed yet. And I can attest to you this personally because I've worked with and for so many people that we still have a cultural and a community issue. Y'all remember this woman? I'm going to bring this up. This is an older video of like, what's that, 3 years ago? This was during Biden, but I just want to replay this so that you can soak in her rhetoric, her thought process. And this was from Canada, but that doesn't change anything. Like Canada people like this are just as much on board as America people like this are. So we're going to watch this just for a quick review. Then we're going to go into a short discussion.
Some rights and freedom that would tell you that. But since you seem to forget that, and you're all loud and proud with your big thoughts and your big ideas, and you want to, whatever, fucking set up hot tubs in Ottawa. I'm a recruiter. It's a small industry. Smaller than you'd think. Same with HR. So, if you're looking for a job, or maybe trying to keep a job, maybe, just maybe, think about what you're putting on social media. Again, freedom fighters. I know you're not really big with stats and, you know, facts aren't your thing, you know, but what I can tell you, what is a fact, is that recruiters talk. And recruiters, like the majority of Canada, don't agree with you. Do you know what that means? Do you have any guesses? Any guesses what that means? What that means is that if you need a job, you might not get one. If you want to keep a job, you might not get to do that. And you know what else HR is good at? Documentation. You know what that means? You want to be an asshole. We document it. We give you a couple tries. Then what do? We terminate you. With cause. If we're so lucky. If not, we give you the minimum allowed by law. Either way, best of luck to you. Recruiters are watching. HR is watching. Everywhere. And we hate you. We hate you so much. And you think we can't do anything. But we can. We have the power. Always. Remember that. Doesn't matter if there's a fucking man at the top of your HR department. It's run by women. And it's run by angry women just like me. I'm so glad I got that off my chest. It's been eating me up inside. And honestly, my heart goes out to you guys. I mean, you have families to feed, right? You brought your kids to this big event. You're freedom fighters. You're standing up. Oh, they will be so proud. So proud of you. Fuck yourself. Fuck yourself. Mwah.
That woman's mentality has not changed. Now, I don't remember if she got fired or not, but her individually doesn't really matter. She was the mouthpiece for that hive mind. And it's been 3 years since she made that statement and that video. I can tell you personally that that hasn't changed yet. It has not changed. What we need is men coming back, and we need women supporting men coming back. Because women are not going to tear women like that down. They'll speak up against it sometimes. But you need men to replace women like that. Because women like that will get women on a hive mind, and as many of you as possible on that hive mind. They will control your HR department. They will pick who gets hired and who doesn't, make suggestions, negotiate, sell you. They will do the whole spiel and you'll fall for it. And the right people will continue to not get hired. That video, I would probably guess, is one of the ingredients to my incentive to start a staffing and networking division of America First Texas. Most of you don't know this, but me personally, I have been through this shit. I don't talk about it because I'm not a pussy. I deal with it, I suck it up, and I keep it moving. But it comes to a point to where no matter where you go, if people like that are in such a group that all they have to do is just size you up during an interview to understand that you're not like them and you're not going to get the job, you're discriminated against. And men, we have nothing to help with discrimination because we're men. We're supposed to just take it on the chin. But we have a real problem. This is why I'm saying President Trump can't just snap his fingers and fix everything. It's going to take you, me, all of us. So all this like weak ass instinct of like, you need to quit speaking the way you're speaking online because it can be used against you. This isn't that time right now. It's the opposite of that right now. You need to mash that shit down into the ground because those instincts, those women instincts of safety and security because of the perceived power are going to put you right back into that position again. You need to quit shutting your men up. You need to push your men harder, further, and make them stomp that shit out of society. Because realistically, people like me, people like you are going to hire whoever has the best qualifications, examples of success. They're the ones who are going to get the job. We don't look around at like, who's white? You're white. You interviewed, you're white and you're a man, you're getting the job. We don't think like that. We just don't. We never have. I'm never going to. Unless we were like driven to do so out of survival, which is what this is trying to do. If you're anything like me, you know how to put words together and put them out there in a certain way that can push the line without crossing it. And most men can do this, I would say. The only men who can't have no experience because they're being cucked out or whatever. I've got women try to do it to me all the time, but I don't care. Like, my instincts are not safety and security. My instincts are fixing this problem and taking the country back and putting it back into normal, non-totalitarian, non-communist ways. This is America. We don't live like that. Now, I know she said Canada, but it's the same shit. During COVID, when we all lost our jobs because we wouldn't stick a vaccine up our ass, look how many people lost a job. Democrats like her floated to the top. I had a company I was contracted with last year. This brand new employee was like teaming up with HR because they were women. They were going on women's trips. And this woman was just embedding herself into the HR department. That way she could get away with whatever she wanted to and wouldn't get let go because if you win the hearts over, you're done. And I didn't have that client but for a couple of months because I was weeded out of it due to strict jealousy. Now you can be like, well, that was just because politics or whatever. No, this woman clearly hated men. It was insane. Just makes up shit all the time. On day zero, before she even saw me face to face, she was already trying to leverage me out because I was more effective and she was jealous of my camera work, which got me the job because I'm clearly on an evolved level of this shit. But this has been continuous. This is just one example last year. It has happened. I saved a company from dying, literally. It took me like a year. And this company ended up hiring an executive assistant, and she saw the same shit. A guy like me, nice, white guy, smart, good talent, looks good. How can I get him out of here and get my girlfriends in here? And they did it. Somebody like me had been a loyal servant to a company for over a year and helped them turn around financially, lifted their profits into the air, gave their investors returns instead of deficits. I still got leveraged out because I'm a man, a white guy. This girl got her girlfriend in there, screwed it all up because all they cared about was women and whatever. The company closed its doors 6 months later. True story. True story. Insane, man. Blew my mind. And it broke my heart in a way because I had put so much into it. It was the most successful thing I had done at that point in my career. Like, this company was losing $1,000 every single day. And I was like, you can't do this to fix this problem anymore. We have to re-identify this place. And I did, and it worked. But I didn't survive the culture war. It didn't matter. The CEO, supposed to be the smartest one around here, still fell for the culture war bullshit. It's crazy. You know, that hit me at a hard time too. I'm not going to get into the details, but losing that client really hurt me financially too, because I was very loyal to fixing them and getting them, like, they weren't out of the woods. I turned their company around, but they were not out of the woods. There was a lot of work to be done. And all they needed was just to re-sign my next annual proposal. And you know, he gave me a proposal from the other girl, said, here's the price that this girl is matching your new competitor. I was like, well, mine's twice that. Like, that's cheaper than my price right now. And my new proposal is more expensive than the one that I'm on right now. So I was like 3 times her price. So he decided to go with her. But my proposal was like 26 pages long. Like, I put so much effort into this. Like, here's the game plan. Here's the scale. Here's the trajectory for the next 12 to 24 months. Here's the accountability. Here's everything that you want. Here it is. Even he said, wow, you really put a lot of effort into this, didn't you? I was like, yeah. Like, I'm not even really focusing on any other clients. I'm focusing on you. Because if I can turn something like this around, my credibility, way up there. And I did. So my credibility is still way up here. But he went with her instead because all women stick together. They didn't care that I was the most qualified. She didn't even live in the state. She lived in fucking Florida. That's what you didn't get. She like subcontracted out the work to somebody here locally, and they got their cell phone and was filming shit. Talking about, I have no strategy. I saw all the emails finally. I was like, you fell for this? And you're the smartest person here? Like, dude. And these are just like some examples. These are just bigger examples and recent ones, but it has been nonstop. It's been nonstop like this. So yeah, President Trump bringing jobs back, like, it's so important. This is such a big deal.
Get right to share with the jobs numbers right now. Wow. 172,000 non-farm payrolls were added to the economy in May. The estimate was 85,000, guys. There you go. 4.3% is the unemployment rate. Private sector jobs coming in better than expected, 120,000. We were looking for 85,000. Labor force participation rate, 61.8%. And you're seeing May average work week unchanged, 34.3 hours, and that is on track. Now, April has been revised to 179,000. The original April read, Maria, was 115. They just revised April to 179K. And they're also revising March to 214,000 jobs. The underemployment, that U6 number, that's 8.1%. But again, it is all about these big numbers that we're seeing. Factory jobs, 7,000. That's actually also better than expected. 7,000.
The data is out, the May jobs report. 172,000. Is there any doubt that this anecdotal evidence about a good labor market has been very correct? That is a really strong number. And last month, well, we had a revision from 115,000 to 179,000, which means the 2-month revision has got to be over 90,000. That is a good number. Even manufacturing posted a 7,000 job gain. So how strong is 172,000? That would be the best number since 185,000 in March. These are solid numbers.
Yeah. That's solid. This is why you need to rally behind President Trump. Push him further. Push him harder. We need this shit so bad. We need these new jobs. We need these interest rates to come down so that we can refinance this debt for all these companies and get more salaries. Because people like me need to help people like you find better jobs where you don't have to go work around dumb bitches like that. That reminds me, the contract I was just telling you about last year where they weeded me out, leveraged me out because she hates men. They still come up in my newsfeed. They have a new videographer there. They hired a woman too. I already knew. I was making a note of it and told them and everything, but they were like, well, you can't really talk like that. I'm like, dude, I'm not here to be politically correct. We have a problem because this woman is a racist. She hates men for no reason. Like, you hired a piece of shit. And that's going to affect me making you successful. But you got to let me go. And now, so that she can go hire a woman so she can feel better. Dude, this is why I was saying earlier in the show that, like, maybe I need to make a disclaimer before the show starts that this is like a rated R episode or something. Because I'm going to have to go that way. And I don't want to be this way. But this isn't just about me. I'm just giving my anecdotal evidence so that I can talk to you to let you know what's really going on out here. Because trust me, somebody like me, I've always had like 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs. I have had so many streams of revenue of income throughout my entire life because I'm a grinder. I work hard. My work ethic isn't even scalable. Like, my girl now would like stop me from working because I would work so much. I don't have I work 8 hours a day. I work until I can't do it anymore, until I need to go give my girl attention or take my dog out. Like, I wake up, I work. I go to sleep, I work. I calculate things in my head. I dream about work. It never stops. That's just who I am. So for somebody like me to struggle this much shows you we have a way bigger problem than a who's qualified and who can get shit done problem. But the point that I'm making is that it's not just me. I know it's you too. I'm just the one willing to speak up about it because I'm going to do something about it. I wouldn't just sit here and talk about it and run the risk of like not even getting work because of the words that are coming out of my mouth if I didn't already have a plan too. Because I'm going to be unstoppable. But I have to be unstoppable for me, and I have to be unstoppable for you. That is why I've got the media department going, I've got the staffing and networking department going, and I've got to pump this shit up. And that's going to be on my shoulders, and that's totally fine. But that's one of the reasons why I asked if I could have volunteer help, because I'm going to be powering through this stuff, and I already know the structure that I need to build and implement, but I can't do so until I get a revenue, until I can like generate a salary on a stable enough trajectory to where I can actually employ somebody full-time and not run the risk of losing them. Because I'm not going to take outside investors. I'm not giving away any pieces of this company so that I can get the same bullshit infiltrated into America First Texas like it is in every other company out there. It's not going to happen. Will I take on investors? Yes, but they're going to be more like partners I can manage and perform services with. So that's going to be the total difference. Like if you want to invest in America First Texas, we're going to have a service to provide you to make sure you get a return on your investment by our services, by our performance, not just by like, hey, just write us a big check so I can float my staff and then I'll go make it up on the back end with all my services and you can have a piece of my company. I'm not looking for capital investors like that. I'm looking at investors. The type of investors that I would want or do want are people who want to be like managing partners. People who want to be involved with what I actually have to offer. That way it's a good relationship and you get something out of it. That way you don't need a piece of my shit just to help me become, get off the ground and get her live. But even then, like, I don't even have to go find those. Like, I'm going to be powering forward so hard for you. I'm going to find you opportunities. You're going to see that soon. It doesn't matter if you believe what I'm saying or not. You're going to see on my news feed, I'm going to be posting positions. Hey, this company that I struck a deal with where they're going to be a part of our relocation video series, which I have coming up like very soon. You're going to see, hey, I know that this company has this type of position. Here's a range of where the salary is at. Here's the qualifications and here's like what the job entails. If you align with this or you just want this job, they're looking for somebody in a cultural mind frame like you. This is available. Contact me. I'll hook you up. That's what it's going to be like. I'm going to find this regardless. So I don't need people to invest or anything. This is the difference. America First Texas is the change. We are the difference. And we need to make an impact. The biggest way for us to make an impact is for you to get involved with us and contact us and just reach out and just build somewhat of a relationship. I don't care if the DM is just hi. The fact that you reached out means you have this much interest at least. If you have this much interest at least, I will fix your problem eventually. We're brand new, so don't expect me to go find you a $150,000 job like tomorrow or next week. It's going to take me, like right now, it's going to take me like 2 or 3 months probably. But even then, it doesn't matter. Build a relationship with me now. Talk to me now, and I will get you there eventually. Because more than likely, you're at a job that you just want to leave. But if you're like impulsive and you have to leave right now, then yeah, good point. I can't help you today, but I can help you next month, the month after that. You need to make long-term plans anyway. You don't need to be impulsive, like I just need to jump. I'll get there for you, but that's what we're working on. So moving on from that, there's also another area I want to get into. This is still job related. This came up way smaller than I was expecting. Excuse me while I look at my screen and zoom in. The Trump effect. Google is investing $40 billion in Texas AI infrastructure, creating thousands of American jobs, training college students and apprentices, and boosting affordable energy statewide. America First is delivering big wins. So Google announces a $40 billion investment in AI infrastructure in Texas. Let's get into this real quick because I know, reading from the comments in the post, that people are fairly unhappy with the AI data centers. I'm not going to say that I blame you. You know, I think that was my first position too. I was like, the energy grid's going to be sucked up. We're just now becoming stable in Texas because we grow and our grid just isn't really amazing. It's obviously good enough because it works, but our grid isn't amazing. And there's a lot of cons to having these data centers being built. And I don't want to say that I don't understand your position, because I do. Okay. So don't get mad at me for saying this, but I need to educate you here in a little bit. This is important. Let's just say for national security reasons. Okay. Shouldn't even take this up. I should have left it up. This is important for national security reasons. Just plain and simple. If we do not get a hold of the machine that is unstoppable, which is AI, then somebody else will. That's why I get it. Who wants a data storage facility in their neighborhood or down the street or wherever? Nobody wants that. I get it. But we'll be the only country not doing it. AI, we have to, as closely as possible, be in control of that. That is our responsibility as an American, to suck it up and deal with shit that we don't like and control the machine. Otherwise, other people will control the machine and we'll lose who we are as a country. We always have to grab what's new and important, like this, cryptocurrency, whatever. We have to be the leader. And that requires shit like this, getting storage facilities. Like, I don't like Google either. Google's a piece of shit, but you have to control the machine. Have to. And the other argument is like, well, there's just going to be a bunch of H-1B visa people getting these jobs. That's a great argument. You know what I say to that? The same thing I said last time. Your kids need jobs, right? And they're losing them to all these H-1B visa guys. Okay. Why aren't all your kids getting into IT? You don't want to go work out in the field? Go get an IT. I've seen a lot of IT. Do you understand how easy IT really actually is? If you use a computer, it's not that hard. It's really not. I can tell you something. Most IT people sit around and play games all day. They don't even hardly work, and they're collecting big salaries. You don't want to. What in the hell is that? Is that my watch? Why is my watch talking to me? Anyway, like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by AI. It knows I'm talking shit right now, I bet. Yeah, I hear you. Anyway, here's the point. IT jobs are not hard. There are some that are, because, you know, it's complicated computer science, but for the most part, it is not. Are you turning on again? I'm about to turn this watch off. I'm not playing that today. Power off. Wow. It was about to start talking to me again. Anyway. Oh, maybe it's picking up keywords. Yeah. This shit's a stalker central. Anyway, IT is not hard. And the reason we're getting H-1B visa people is because you're not filling the jobs. You don't want to be in IT. You want to be a business owner. You want to be, you want to be debt free. You're not striving to take these people's positions away from them. You're not filling the spots. And that's on you. That's on us. That's on me. I didn't do it either. You want to fix the problem like that? It's up to you. That's what President Trump is trying to show you. It's up to you. He can't snap his fingers. You can't wave a magic wand. That's what Obama used to taunt him on. We're going to do wave a magic wand. But that dude's full of frauds. All you had to do is undo Obama's fraud, and then everything returns back to normal. But when you redo that, you have to set a new foundation, a new structure, and add all the new accessories, which is what we talk about often. And that's exactly what's going on. We have to rebuild from the ground up. So you don't want H-1B visa people coming, then you go take their jobs instead. You go get qualified in IT and you go take their jobs instead. Are you going to do that though? Or are you going to sit online and talk shit about it all day? and wish that Greg Abbott would quit catering to the Indians. Why do you think he does it? Because he has to. But President Trump's, got Greg Abbott as a puppet. He'll do what you want. It's up to you. Quit not talking. Quit being silent. Men, quit letting your women tell you to quit talking. They just want security and safety. You go out there and fight for what you need. Don't listen to them. Their instincts are absolutely incorrect about this. And women, you can go do IT too. You love systems and processes. Systems, processes, and management and efficiency. You love all that. Women, you go get an IT. Easy. You don't have to do shit. You create somebody's new email when you get a new employee, and then you sit around and play games all day or talk to your girlfriends and you wait. And you get an $80,000 salary. I see it all the time. I personally see it all the time. I know a lot of people in IT. You know what they're doing? They're playing Call of Duty during the daytime and waiting for their emails to come through. Every day. Right now. I know somebody right now. In fact, I'm not going to show you. I'm looking up right now. I know 2 people in IT that are playing video games instead of working right now. Let me go look. I don't have anybody bet on, but I put $1,000 on it right now. Yep. They're playing Call of Duty right now. Getting paid right now. Both of them. There's 4 people in there and 2 of them are in IT. Literally right this second. They're getting paid and you're not. And they're playing video game. They're playing Warzone, Call of Duty, and getting paid in IT right this second. Yep. I didn't even have to look it up. I did it. I'm not going to show you who it is. I'm not going to reveal these people. That's my business to collect this information. That's your business to listen to me and trust me. I'm not going to mislead you, obviously. But that's what's up. That's what's going on. They're not even working, man. IT's easy. The dude's playing Warzone and making $80,000 a year. Probably more. He's in New York. It's up to you. It's up to you. You have to fix this. But let's go watch this real quick.
The holders since 2015. Over 70% came from India and nearly 12% from China. And when you zoom in on this map you're looking at, you can see where most are being hired. The dark red spots show a high density of H-1B visa holders. And now we're learning more about the fraud within the program. One former official tells Newsweek that up to 90% of applications, 90% from India contain fraudulent documents or involve unqualified applicants. And finance law enforcement in India claim it has uncovered a network of universities that produce fake degrees which were possibly used to obtain these high-skilled H-1B visas, including one school which allegedly stole over 36,000 fake degrees, sold, I should say. It cost as little as $1,400 for one of those. And while these are supposed to be high-skilled employees, during almost all of Biden's time in office, 83% got junior or entry-level positions. And now Texas is taking action, cracking down on those abusing the program.
Did you get that? Did you get that? The degrees are fraudulent, dude. They're not qualified. But the public perception is that that's what they do. That's who I hire. And the Indians, they all stick together. They don't assimilate. Some do. But mostly don't. They stick together, man. They do what women do. They do what black people do. They all stick together. They all stick together. Look out for each other. I hire you because you look like me. It's low IQ retard shit. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we have to like dismantle. All you have to do is just go get a degree and go get the job. If you apply to the same position across the board, you're going to get one. Hopefully you keep it because you're not like them, but you'll get it. And if enough of you keep doing that, you'll be the new public perception. What is the face of an IT? You could be a 28-year-old white guy. No, you're IT. It's just public perception. Just advertise it as such. Check this out.
Did you know note that one of America's largest H-1B visa sponsors has been found by a jury to have discriminated against American citizens in favor of Indians? Cognizant is one of the biggest H-1B visa sponsors in America, as well as in North Carolina and here in the RTP or Triangle area where I report as an independent journalist. In 2018, 3 former employees of Cognizant who are white Americans filed suit claiming that they had been discriminated against based on their race and their nationality. They said that Cognizant abused the H-1B visa program and discriminated against them by preferring to hire Indians. The lawsuit alleged that over 3/4 of Cognizant's American workforce were Indians as a result of illegal, discriminatory, and preferential hiring practices. Last October, a jury found that Cognizant had discriminated on the basis of nationality and race, preferring to hire Indians and South Asians. Specifically, the jury also determined that Cognizant should pay punitive damages, meaning that their conduct was malicious, oppressive, or in reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights. Now, if you go to Cognizant's website, you will see a number of diversity, equity, and inclusion awards. Now, if a company can win those awards despite a widespread practice of discrimination on the basis of nationality and race, I think that tells you a whole lot about the whole DEI and ESG industry. As always, let me know what y'all think.
Boom. It's the problem, but you've got to fix it collectively without being a collective mentality. You just got to get out there and go take charge of this shit. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't back down with your language. If you're being treated like this, being nice and not saying things and politely taking over, it's not going to work. You need men back. You need to go take this shit over. Follow my lead. I'm about to. Look, man, you can talk directly and tear all the bullshit down without doing the wrong thing or saying the wrong thing or saying anything illegal. Nothing that you will say will be illegal if you just stick straight and be direct. Watch your mouth, but let your mouth go. Be that hybrid. Don't use racial slurs. Don't do the illegal things. But if you stray outside of that, the field is open. You are openly being discriminated against. You're getting fraudulent workers coming into this country, taking money that you should be making. Oh yeah, and both of those guys that I told you about that are in IT playing those games, not supposed to be here either. I guess one technically is. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm tracking everything. Shouldn't even be here. Somebody else should have that job right now. But they don't, because you won't do anything about it. You got to start speaking up. Speak up. Quit listening to women about don't say anything. I know somebody who doesn't like that. Dude, women, y'all, it's time for y'all to shut up. When it comes to this shit, it's time to shut your mouth. Or if you're going to use your mouth, which is very effective, push your man forward. Push men forward. Quit sticking together just because you're women. It's retarded and it's ruining everything. Make men great again. We want your life to be as good as possible, so you need to make our lives as good as possible. Reciprocate. We love you. Thank you. That's it. We need your help. Let's go. I'll see y'all next week. Until then, take care. Later.